Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. This is another video about the Taki clone because Taki Udon has been putting out plenty of details out on Twitter. What is the Taki clone? I'm sure many of you guys that are watching this video now have already heard about it, but the Taki clone is essentially a clone board of the DE10 Nano that comes in at less than half the price of the actual board that Thoracic manufacture and sell. So it's something that's very, very exciting. A few different models are planned, the board, different consoles, but I'm really excited about a handheld MiSTer, right? I love handheld gaming, I love FPGA gaming, and guys, I have a big bias towards handheld gaming. Also, from a channel perspective, I'm really excited about this because guys, if there's cheaper MiSTers out there, it means there'll be more people that are getting MiSTer, and hopefully that will get more eyes on my channel. So before we go further in there guys, just remember this isn't publicly released yet, and sometimes with projects delays can occur, sometimes projects don't even see the light of day. Anything can happen guys, right? So best thing I can advise is just watch and wait. Taki's been quite very transparent. In fact, he's showing everything, he's going through it step by step, taking advice from the community and acting on there, right? And this stuff, we'll go through the tweets and I'll talk about some of the stuff I'm excited about, but I really do think this project is going to see the light of day, and honestly I'm really looking forward to getting this in my hands. So let's go through a series of some of the tweets. Now if you've been following Taki Udon over on Twitter, and you know you're quite a regular on Twitter and you know how to use it, and you may have already seen a lot of these, but I know a lot of you people out there don't, and you know you like watching videos, and well, I like making videos. So let's start with this one here. So a couple of days ago, Taki Udon put out a tweet saying, weekend update, MiSTer board, a 2K, so a 2000 blank PCB order should arrive by June the 4th, or at the end of the month if we're very lucky, right? I'm filming this on the 28th of May, end of the month is 3 days away. If we're very lucky, that will happen. If not, 4th of June, which is next Tuesday, right? Includes further improvements to power efficiency. That is actually great to hear, especially when we're talking about handheld. The more efficient or the more power efficiency we have, the longer battery life we have, right? It makes sense for handhelds. So flagship 3D modeling should be finished by the 31st of May. Mainstream the same, handheld the same, and I'm really looking forward to the handheld. I've probably said that a few times already, but really guys. And budget and a little thread thing there, right? So all right, here we go. So budget console, I couldn't sleep on Friday, so I stayed up and redrew the 2D ID for this. I modernized the appearance without sacrificing the retro elements I wanted this to have. I think the current design should have more of a global appeal than the original. Okay, we'll go through them because I have got stuff lined up. Okay, so quick update on the MiSTer handheld. We are moving to an AMOLED, the AMOLED screen, right? The screen is better suited for a variety of aspect ratios, and the panel characteristics are amazing. The MSRP of the handheld should still be around 150 or less if there is enough interest. Taki, there is a lot of interest, right? If a handheld MiSTer comes out there, it's gonna do amazingly well. If it delivers on everything, it has good ergonomics, it has good controls, it's going to be amazing, especially with other stuff that we're going to see down here. Okay, very cool. That MiSTer can even become portable. Can the portable be connected to a TV? Yes. Guys, that is music to my ears. That will be like the Analog Pocket, right? When I'm playing something on a go, when I want to play it on a TV or want to shoot a video, I just attach it to the dock, right? So from what I understand, now there's a lot of tweets out there. I've picked some for the highlights. I remember Taki saying that you can connect the console directly via a HDMI cable, but later on a dock is planned. So imagine like a Switch style dock or an Analog Pocket type of dock. You get your handheld, you're playing it on the go, you dock it, bang, you're playing it on the TV, right? So I am really excited about this. Like I can't wait to see like the 3D designs for it, what it looks like. But the vibes that I'm getting, I'm picking up some very good vibes about this. I really do hope there's no delays, there's no issues with it, and we do get this, right? I'm going to be the guy #1 in the queue for a handheld. So one thing I forgot to ask about the handheld, how will the D-pad be handled? It seems no one really gets them right anymore and has typical issues of being pressed in fully with all directions being activated, or wonky diagonals that can hurt games like Contra. Guys, I know about bad D-pads. There's been a lot of bad D-pads, right? If we're just talking about like the recent PC handheld stuff like the Steam Deck, the D-pad isn't bad, but it's not great for games where you need to do a fireball, for example. The Asus ROG Ally, it was absolutely terrible. There's a bunch of other devices I've tried out there. The Analog Pocket, I've got a couple of Analog Pockets. On the later one, the D-pad's better, but the D-pad is not perfect. I'm not getting false diagonals, but some of the moves are a little bit hard to do on there. And overall, in the gaming world now, the D-pad is definitely an afterthought. And when we look at the younger generation, when I look at my kids, they don't use the D-pad. When I play retro games with them, they want the analog stick configured. It's what the newer generation are, right? So I guess a lot of companies have kind of flexed with that, and the D-pads just haven't been that good, guys, and that's a shame. So Taki replies to that, this will be a non-issue, guys. That is music to my ears. And to be honest, based on the fact that Taki's done a lot of reviews on a lot of handhelds and he's accustomed to many handhelds, I'm very confident that if or when a MiSTer Handheld sees the light of day, it's gonna have a good D-pad, and that's important, right? That's like having a MiSTer Handheld would be like having a Ferrari, right? But if you've got a bad D-pad on a MiSTer Handheld, it's like, I don't know, trying to ride the Ferrari. You know those little kiddie scooters, you got one of those handles on there, right? You can't quite get everything right. You got a Ferrari, you want the best possible controls. Okay, and down there Frank says, please don't make the D-pad sit low to accommodate a C-stick. Make them side by side like Steam Deck. Love its ergonomics. And you know what, the Steam Deck's ergonomics are brilliant. Like when it comes to anything, Street Fighter games are where I have difficulty doing those motions, but I'm not getting false diagonals on the Steam Deck. So the Steam Deck D-pad is good, and I'm a big fan of the Steam Deck, right? Okay, so what's this question up here? Okay, okay, so Taki here saying most of what MiSTer can do doesn't require an analog stick for input, so putting it on top would be strange, right? So do you know what? I've really been enjoying the Sega Saturn core. I know most of the stuff on there is digital. The N64 core is something to kind of enjoy, but to be honest, I'm not the heaviest on the analog sticks, but it would be nice to have those on there because there are some games that the MiSTer supports that use analog sticks, right? Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, let's go to question up here first. I think the control layout will be quite challenging. If this really can play Saturn, N64 and PSX, I could imagine something like the Brawler 64 with left analog and D-pad swapped and the right analog. Okay, so there you go, we kind of done Jeopardy there, right? Kind of the answer to what the statement above was. Let's have a look at the next tweet. Okay, to avoid scalpers, pre-ordering one per person would be a great idea. Sure, this is not 100% avoiding the 70 to 80%, but only need one for personal use, right? So Taki replies, I don't want to pre-order these if I don't have to. I try to get a queuing ticketing system going so these go to users versus scalpers. And it's nice that this is Taki's got this in mind, right? So it's not going out to someone that's going to grab the whole lot and then you're going to get eBay flooded with them because there's going to be let's say a limited supply at the beginning, and it'll be like a week or two before restocks are replenished, right? So that's nice, and I really hope something is done there so it's one per customer. It goes out to users because we the end users, we want the stuff. It's always stressful buying stuff when you know there's a certain release date and it's going to sell out in seconds. I remember trying to buy my Analog Pocket. I missed the first time they come out. The second time I went on, I got into like group B, I think it was group B I got into, so I missed the first batch and I waited like 11 months for it. So really hope there's something in place that's very consumer friendly. Right, let's go to the next one, and something here from JB. Please tell me it also has front firing stereo speakers. And simple answer, yes. Okay, so someone's asking for Bluetooth headphone capability, would be amazing. Do you know what, I'm not really into that. I mean, the only thing I can see about, again, you can plug in a dongle for Bluetooth. That's not something that interests me, but there's a lot of people firing stuff, and from what I'm seeing is Taki is taking a lot of the good advice on board. Some of the stuff that's difficult or will add a lot of cost is something that he's not going to, or he's not saying it's going to be added onto the initial handheld, right? So is the D-pad going to be top orientated? So many retro handhelds have a top stick and it makes zero sense. Both analogs are on the bottom. Okay, that's a little bit better, right? So you got the D-pad in a more comfortable place, right? Sounds good. D-pad should definitely be the focus on the MiSTer. Analog sticks are definitely in the minority when it comes to controls. However, I do think they're important. Like me personally, I could have a MiSTer handheld without without an analog stick on there. I think I could get by. If I want to play in 64, I've got options, right? I can, okay, even though the software emulation isn't great, I can play it on Steam Deck as a handheld. I can play it on the TV. It's not a massive sacrifice for me in order to have like a clean design without an analog stick on there, but I understand it's important. I just want a good handheld, analog stick or no analog stick. Anyway, let's kind of go along to the next tweet. Okay, this is really interesting, right? Let's play this. And awesome. Okay, so I need to stop myself before I end up making two MiSTer Handheld. I blame the AMOLED screen, right? Let me just turn this down because I'm gonna hopefully I've got an audio soundtrack on there so you don't hear anything else. And this is interesting. Initially I didn't pick up on this, but if we have a look at the bottom here, guys, we see what is it, X and Y, right? So this is, I don't know what this is it a mock-up handheld? Is he teasing us, just kind of messing up? Is this something that's in R&D? But again, interesting stuff. So I need to stop myself before I end up making two MiSTer Handhelds. I blame the AMOLED screen, right? So damn Nintendo orientation. I was hoping for an XYZ ABCC. I'm kind of torn about that. As much as I would like a Sega Saturn style, like a Mega Drive 6 button kind of orientation, like I like that when I'm playing fighting games, and I love it on the Saturn, but when I'm playing something like Super Mario World, I like the kind of classic SNES design. So I'm kind of torn between the two. Do I want to play more fighters? If I'm playing, for example, Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation core, right? I like a PlayStation controller. I can't play the Saturn version. So it's very difficult to decide which one I would like. Do I want 4 face buttons with shoulder buttons or 6 face buttons? I really don't know. It's a difficult one for me. Okay, so this is not the handheld that is in development. Okay, so thank God. A 6-button layout on a portrait handheld with dual analog sticks would be very strange. Taki, I completely agree with that. Agreed. A 6-button dual analog MiSTer in landscape has me breathing heavy. Mike, you're right about that. I'm kind of breathing heavy as well. Well, I'm not now because I'm doing a video and I've gone into super chatter mode. All right, let's have a look at some of the more kind of because a lot of the stuff you get in the conversation, right? So Adam here, would there be a possibility of a MiSTer Pro with a more powerful FPGA at some point? Okay, this is interesting now, guys. Here we go. After these are all done, we want to make hardware upgrades for some of them to upgrade to Agilex or some other powerful chip. Guys, that's interesting, right? So we haven't got these released yet. Hopefully they'll see the light of day, they'll get released, right? But guys, after that, they're talking Agilex, right? Which is like 4 times, okay, the Agilex 5 that the Replay 2 guys are working on is roughly the four times the size of the DE10 Nano. I mean, that is insane, right? I don't know if they're talking about that from a handheld perspective, because the Agilex range are very, the power consumption on them is amazing, right? So again, that's interesting. Let's have a look down here. I didn't really prep for this, but let's see. Okay, so there's an advert down there. We got anything of interesting down here? Okay, why 2 if one can do everything? Okay, so different orientations, right? So you got a landscape and a portrait mode one. Personally, I would go for a landscape one because they're definitely a lot easier to play for long periods of time. One of the biggest requests that people want from analog is they want an analog update in the style of a GBA. They want that landscape design that they can hold on to and play for a long time. Okay, so will a website be set up for purchase or will it be crowdfunding project? Okay, yes, the same website that will sell the PCB, no crowdfunding. Okay, so that's good. No money in advance. Once it's outright, you can buy it. Okay, what's this here? Okay, this is great. Crowdfunding loses all meaning when regular companies do them so. And Taki says crowdfunding is pointless if you don't have cash flow issues. I agree, it loses meaning for everything else. Refundable deposits of a few dollars can be useful in some situations, right? Guys, again, like this is hype, right? There's more information coming about here, and guys, the information is coming fast. Where's the one that I wanted to bring on here, right? Just for us to have a look at where was that handheld one gone, man? Is it? Here we go. Okay, so we are here, right? Again, I'll leave that one while I kind of close up my thoughts. So guys, it's looking really interesting. There's a number of consoles coming out, like a basic one, a flagship one. You know, we've got one of them will take cartridges and will be kind of based on a system. The handhelds are what I'm really interested in, and the fact you can HDMI out and you can play it on your TV, it's amazing, right? It'll be good for some people that want to play on the go and want to play in front of a TV. And for $150, that is insane with an AMOLED screen, right? Share your thoughts about this below, but it's nice to get these facts. It's nice to see all this stuff coming from Taki quite regularly, right? He's often speaking on the MiSTer FPGA Discord. I'll leave a link to that, an invite link to that in the description of the video. If you do want to get involved in any conversations, you can also reach out to Taki over on Twitter with any suggestions out there. He's I mean, it looks like stuff finalized now, and we're going to be getting stuff. But guys, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to the boards, the consoles, but more so the handhelds. Anyway guys, that's it. Do let me know what you think. You know, what do you think about this? And just the final thing again, remember guys, unforeseen circumstances, delays, etc., cancellations can arise. However, I really do think this is going to see the light of day. Stuff's moving fast, and we're seeing, you know, we're seeing stuff from Taki. So anyway guys, be awesome to one another. If you're not subscribed to the channel, then a subscription and a like is always super duper appreciated. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.